Hey, remember how I said I've not seen a single boat on the river? Guess what? Now I've seen a boat on the river. This is, of course, the weekend, so that probably has something to do with it. A little change of pace. The towpath has a detour, it's closed. So it's taking us up through this farmland here above the river. I don't know where it goes, but we'll soon find out. Well, it's pretty Maryland countryside, this detour. Don't know how far it goes, but from a plot that I logically placed down on my map, looks like it might go as far as the Antietam Battlefield. And if so, I guess that'd be kind of a treat to see. Well, I guess continue to follow signs, right? Yeah, I think this is actually going down by the battlefield. Huh. So the river would actually be down this way and then does a couple necks on the way into Harpers Ferry. Alright, so still got some pumpkins out in the field. Christmas pumpkins, maybe? Out there in the distance, the Appalachian Mountains. The Antietam Battlefield, this is a portion of it. There's more up ahead. You know, when you read about war, you hear about it, you know, in the news, in your history books, whatever. If you haven't been close to it, it just kind of seems like a, I don't know, abstract thing, unless you've been affected by it, by a family member. But when you're up close to it, where men actually fought and died, gives you a perspective, right? Maybe not a first-hand perspective, but you feel a little bit closer to it. You might notice all these luminaria. Park ranger just passed me by and said these luminaria are placed out here at this time of year for a special event. People are going to drive through here after dark without their lights on, kind of as a remembrance of those who fought and died. This will be something to look at night, all these luminaria. These are candles that are inside the bags here. But I believe that all these luminaria represent all those who died in this battle of Antietam. And by the way, the Battle of Antietam is the largest loss of life in any single battle in U.S. history. That counts Confederates as well. But Confederates, even though we were separated at that point in time in history, they're still our brethren, right? So this is what's going on here tonight. I can't be here. They're shooing me off because I don't have a car and I'm wearing dark clothes. But like I said, they've got all these luminaria out in all the different sections of the battlefield, and there's actually 23,000 of these candles out here. If you ever have a chance to get out here, howdy. This is in December when they do this, the Antietam National Battlefield. Good morning. I was thinking more about that Antietam battlefield. So that was the that was a battle where in a single day there were the most casualties of forces. Now of course Gettysburg and other battles had larger casualties, but those were over the course of multiple days. The Antietam battlefield was just a bloody mess all in one day. 23,000. The Union forces that were led by, was it General McClellan? They actually outnumbered the Confederates, but McClellan wasn't so sure of that. He thought that the Confederates had many more in reserve, so that's why he kept a bunch of his guys in reserve. And so even though the battle itself may have been a draw or inconclusive, because of the lighter Confederate forces, General Lee decided that he was just going to retreat. So then technically it became a Union victory. And with that Union victory, that was the impetus for President Lincoln to pronounce the Emancipation Emancipation Proclamation, freeing the slaves, and a back part of history that I think a lot of people don't know, myself included, was that the British and the French were on the fence at the first point of the Civil War, and they were getting close to actually recognize the cessation of the Confederacy as being its own country. But with the technical battlefield victory at Antietam and the Emancipation Proclamation, the British and the French decided not to recognize the Confederate States of America. And for the main reason was probably because the French and the British themselves had abolished slavery previously, and they felt now that since the United States had now, by the Emancipation Proclamation, renounced and outlawed slavery, then they could not politically, not only to their own people, but I guess to the rest of the world, they couldn't politically support a supposed country that itself supported slavery. So that's the back history to the Emancipation Proclamation and the Battle of Antietam. And again, 23,000 casualties on both sides in one day. Bloody mess, bloody mess. In case you're wondering, that's looking upriver towards Shepherdtown, Antietam, Sharpsburg. And then, right up there on the promontory is Harpers Ferry. As I get into Harpers Ferry here with these rocks in the river and the sound of the river and all that, kind of reminds me earlier in the trip of going up the Pine River up there out of Durango in the Rockies. Just something about it, you know, the leaves weren't out on the trees, the river was flowing, it was cold like it is right now. All right, across the footbridge, across the Potomac. Not there. Let's see, 1931, is that what it says? 1921? 1931. This way. Watch your step. Watch your step. Howdy. I'll show you more when we get across here. how close we are to the train tracks. It'd be kind of nice if a train came through here, but I noticed that the light was red down there. So if there's one coming, it's going to be coming from the tunnel, but not from the Harpers Ferry direction. Take a look at the previous bridges that were here. Here's the old abutments of one, and it's being overgrown, collecting driftwood as well. And then over here was another old bridge. Oops. And the end. Welcome to Harpers Ferry. Oh, and by the way, see that? Now that I'm on the Appalachian Trail, I've now officially been on the Pacific Crest Trail, the Continental Divide Trail, and the Appalachian Trail. So I guess that makes me a triple crowner. How about that, all in 1 year? Yeah, I wish. Oh, and by the way, I'm about 60 miles down to Washington, D.C. that way. So that's another 4 days. After my day off, of course. I'm actually taking 2 days off here in Harpers Ferry. A little bit of snow last night. Heading back down the C&O for 3 days to Washington, D.C. I want to show you something here, though. So this being Harpers Ferry, you get a pretty broad view of who was where during the war. So this little dip right in there, that's the Potomac River. And over here on this side, that was in the Union. That peak right there, that was part of the Union, that was Maryland. And this peak over here, this was part of the Confederacy, that was Virginia. So you can see how the Harpers Ferry was an important place and why it changed hands so many times. Yeah. All right, just got out of the Appalachian Trail headquarters. Oops. Told them I been hiking across the country, and I've hiked a 1/4 mile of the PCT, a 1/4 mile of the CDT, and about a mile or so of the AT. So I came here to get my award for being a triple crowner. They said it doesn't work that way. I know, I'm just being funny. But they're very nice in there. So if you ever have a chance, you hikers or non-hikers alike, to get out here to Harpers Ferry, come in and say hello to the folks over here at the Appalachian Trail Conservancy. And for those of you that don't know about these long distance trails, the AT was actually in place, before the National Scenic Trails Act even came into existence. So they have a good long history of maintaining trails and having a good, robust volunteer network to keep trails maintained and upgraded and all that. So kudos to them, and thank you very much for your hard work. And see you again sometime, huh? Now that I stayed here a long time, I got to get a move on here. I'm way behind schedule. It's almost noon. I got to make 15 miles. Let's see if I do it. I think I'll be walking in the dark a little bit tonight for about an hour or so. And as cold as it is right now, it's going to be about 20 tonight. There's still snow on the ground. Here's the lower town section of Harpers Ferry Historic District. All decked out for Christmas. Ice cream. And it's about 35 degrees. I don't think so. Now I wonder what the significance of this is. As I've been walking this bridge over the Potomac from Harpers Ferry, there's all these people who put these padlocks or locks along the fencing here. What do you suppose that, there's a big one. What do you suppose that stands for? Huh. All the way down. Just in, oh, look at this, triple lock. You're my life. Huh. Looks like a carpet, doesn't it? Well, here's the last Appalachian Trail post. For those of you that are not familiar with trail markers, the top blaze denotes the direction the trail is going. So we're leaving the Appalachian Trail, or the Appalachian Trail is leaving us. Bye-bye, Appalachian Trail. It's been nice sharing you with the C&O Canal for a while. And now it's back to our little selves. Appalachian Trail. Bye-bye. A little bit more snow sticking around here. I think I told you this, it's going to be 20 tonight. With a little bit of a wind. Let's see how that works. How nice of this train to slow down so that I could take a picture of it. You think that's why they slowed down? Just for me? No, I don't think so. They're actually building this train as I walk past it back a ways. It's about a mile long. Now I guess it's all built up and they've started the journey wherever it is they're going. It's actually traveling down towards DC, so it's going where it's going. Hello there. Here's one of the aqueducts. You can see how they built it. So this is I don't know what creek this is, but coming from up there down to the Potomac. Okay, look at that pretty water. Which way is up and which way is down? Then so here's the canal. And I always think this is amazing looking at this. They built the canal to carry water, a waterway, on top of this waterway. It's always interesting to see. So the weight of the water of the canal is supported by the arches that are below us, as you can just like that over there. So allowed these major, more volume creeks to pass under more freely. There's been a number of spots along the canal where there's been the canal going over a creek, but they've just been kind of like what you and I would consider a small culvert pipe today. That it's a small culvert that would go underneath the canal, nothing like these big aqueducts here. Good stuff. Oh, here we go. And the Catoctin Aqueduct. Catoctin, don't know how you pronounce it. Pretty interesting, huh? Well, here's lock number 28, and here's lock house number 28, which, if you wanted to, you can stay in it. You got to rent it, of course, but it's an opportunity to stay in one of these old places to see what it was like. And yeah, I think it'd be kind of a nice thing to do for a night or two. I think there's 4 or 5 of these, maybe 6, that you can actually rent out and stay in. Just go to, what is it, canalquarters.org, something like that. But yeah, I think it would be a kind of a nice experience. This one actually looks pretty nice. You got the nice view of the river there. And if this was farther along, I would actually camp on the porch right there underneath. Canalquarters.org. Stay in a lock house. It's really interesting to look over here on this side of the canal. The water is frozen. And then just right over here on the other side, the river, the water is still moving. Nice juxtaposition. Once again, don't touch that dial. Is it up or is it down? Now that's upside down. Okay, back the other way. Huh. Hey, look at that guy there. And look at that, still got some snow. It's supposed to be some freezing rain in the morning. Hopefully it won't start until I start out. Let's make some footprints here. Yeah. A cold and rainy morning. I want to show you something here though. This is a place where there's actually 2 locks. There's the regular lock right there, that would raise and lower the boats as they traveled along the canal. And this here is called an inlet lock. And what the inlet locks did is they actually brought in water from the Potomac, and it would water the canal all the way downstream so that there would be enough water for the boats to get up and down the canal. And this is especially important in times of drought or in the summer when there wasn't a whole lot of water, so there would be actually dams that would hold the water so that there would be enough water to use at times of low water. So this is an inlet lock, and look at this too. Look at how these were done. All right, got to open the lock. Let's do it. Right? That must have been something. All right, so today's mileage is short, only 9.5. I'm meeting Pete. He's the coordinator for the state of Maryland for the American Discovery Trail. So he's going to pick me up, and I'm going to go to his house for the rest of the day and tonight, and then he's going to drop me back off, and then I'll finish the canal tomorrow. I'll be into DC tomorrow. So in advance, thank you very much, Pete, for your hospitality and a warm place to sleep tonight. All right, so here is my campsite for the night. Nice little campsite, right? And perfect timing because it's been raining the whole time, and I thought I would choose this selection right here. It's a nice little brick picnic cover, and here are my campmates for the night.
All right.
Here's
Hello there.
Peter and Marilyn. Thank you very much. Peter would just happen to be on the trail, and he's the ADT coordinator for Maryland. He said, "Hey, come to my place, and I'll give you a warm place to sleep and a nice, nice, warm and dry, and nice meal." So thank you very much, Marilyn, and thank you very much, Peter.
You're welcome.
You are glad you came.
You're welcome. We're impressed how far you've come.
Oh well, it's just
You're close to the end.
yeah, one step at a time, right?
One step at you're close to the end.
So thanks again, Peter and Marilyn. That was nice. Yeah, warm bed with a feather comforter. Oh wow. Warm meal. Thank you very much. And now I'm back out here in the cold gray, and this is kind of an interesting place here. This is called Great Falls on the Potomac River, and for those of you that don't know Great Falls on the Potomac River, let me show you it, and you'll see why the canal was such an important waterway, because look at this. I'm going to try getting the boat around and down here. Look at that. This big jumble of rocks in the middle of the river was a great barrier for water traffic. In fact, it was such a great barrier they couldn't even get through here. And it is quite impressive. And this is a low time of water right now. I mean, water has gotten way high like that, but it's really pretty. Even in the cold gray, it's a pretty sight, and it's pretty impressive as to the amount of water that's going through here. And this is looking down to Washington, D.C., so downriver. This is Great Falls, the Great Falls section of the Potomac River. And say something special here. I want to say thank you to the C&O Canal for the 180 miles. You've kept me company, or I've kept you company. You and the canal, the Potomac River. And now, you know, as the other day I showed you, I think, how I was starting to get into the din of the city with the jets going over into the airport and just the background noise. And I've got it here going on now at the parkway here, and then pretty soon I'll be in the city. So it's going to be an interesting feeling after the peace and quiet and then all this go, go, go. Yeah, see what it's like, right? Right. Well, who's that? Do you remember Kelly?